yesterday. And tonight it's like got this super duper awesome light source that is not part of the scene to my knowledge. So I'm pretty much in real time. Let's just scoot it all the way. And so we're in real time now. That's an interesting aspect, this little thing. Wait. Oh, it's going away. So no, don't put me on camera. No, this just goes to show this is a living light source. It's not something else. Oh, I love it when you show off. Up. Super awesome. Here we go, guys. I mean, this is freaking living light source orbs showing off from me. Awesome. Wow. Love it. I love it. I love it. See the observer effect. Not just effect. Tool. Observe things and you shall see more, right? Seek and thou shalt receive. I think it's time we redefine what seeking, the function of seeking. We have to apply the seek function to our physics, our cosmology. Do you know that our cosmology does not involve any kind of consciousness? It doesn't account for that, which talk to them, they'll give you a whole lot of jargon. They'll give you a whole lot of jargon for why that's not what they're doing, but separate yourself from the jargon when they're trying to be smart when they talk about their equations. Right. But they lose all credibility when they fail to account for the aspect. And not only that, it's changing sizes again. That and love. So I believe that love is the fundamental force of creation, and that light is its repercussion. So cosmology can't just exclude consciousness, and I have a reason to suspect why they did it, because they didn't know how to account for consciousness. Yeah, well, that's one of the examples for why maybe your calculations up. Oh, commercials are evil. Sorry, guys.
That's what.
Arg. So yeah, that's an example of why calculations shouldn't be final, like the speed of light. You know what? Hey, physicists and stuff, why don't you build I guess you could say a mathematical representation for this code? As far as we know. Can you factor that in? Or at least finalize them with that. This is the sum of the equation, and then add that new code, which means as far as we know. You don't have to tell everybody, it can be it'll be our little secret, but just throw it in there so that way your statements are accurate mathematically. If you factor in as far as I know, well, then you don't have to feel like a boob when new information comes in, which it always will, and you should always expect that. You should expect information to change. It doesn't mean that Einstein was wrong or any one of the other names that are all over the place. Too many names. So many names that every time I try to find anything out mathematically, I'm bombarded with information I could care less about. Names of people, degrees, schools they went to, names of their fucking theories. I don't care. I mean, stop it already. Yeah, so make a code for the as far as we know factor, and you can make it a symbol so that the whole world doesn't have to know that you don't really know. But that way you can change information. You just don't want to accept quantum mechanics since it violates something Einstein came up with? Come on, guys. I guarantee you Einstein would be more than proud of you to have the intelligence to grow from new information. We don't expect Well, that's interesting. Like, for example, why would Einstein expect things to stay the same forever? Well, that would only be the case if he thought that he knew everything and was the king of knowing everything. Well, no one really understand the universe. We need to account for the things need to be accounted for, and if you can't account for them, you're not able to make those calculations yet. You know, like rockets expel so much carbon dioxide in blast off and such. This is literally the calculation for every time Elon Musk shoots off one of his, practice runs. It expels the same amount of carbon that the entire population expels. So what was it? The last 2 years, so it was 23 and 24. The total carbon emissions of all the practice, blast-offs was the accumulation of how much the entire population would have expelled in carbon dioxide. All 8 billion people, but it's actually, for those 2 years, 30 times the amount. 30 times the amount of all 8 billion people in the same time parameter for all of his test rockets. Where has he gone anywhere? Nope, just testing them out. The carbon. But we should stop driving cars and start walking everywhere. We should build 15-minute cities. No, guys. Okay, at some point you're going to start feeling what I'm stepping in, which is you're going to realize you're stepping in it too. Don't trust just because it looks like a human. If it doesn't sound like a human or act like one, that's what I'm saying. Anybody who's got billions and billions and billions of dollars and just wants more, never stops working, is not here on Team Earth. For Team Human. For Team, improved civilization. Guys, they're accelerating. Look it up. What is acceleration? Yes, this theory that they all applied a long time ago, deciding to balls to the wall. Accelerate the destruction of planet Earth. Somewhere in their theory, apparently it turns into something that they're looking for. I don't know. But it doesn't sound good to me. I don't think that people should do things like that. Acceleration is like the principle of it's like going to the casino over the weekend and then coming back to work on Monday. It's a business that you're running, and you apply some principle based in this gambling addiction. We're gonna go balls to the wall from here. Just bet it all on. Bet it all. That's not sound principles. This is what they're doing, though. Hello. That's awesome. This is so awesome. This is not normal. This is not like, there's no light source in this camera right there. It's just being one. It's present. See? It's not there. This isn't where, there isn't a light source here. See? Well, I think the camera scoots over. No, it doesn't. It just goes from light to dark. It's, or it scoots over this way, I guess. But that's like a rainy screen. Rain on the lens. But you see there's no light source over there to the left. Yep. No light source. And it just started coming in when I was checking it out. Almost as if to interact with me. The light is alive. Chalking it off as anything else is just straight ignorance at this point. Some people think they're cool because they can copy things that other people say, like bada 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 bada. But those people don't think for themselves. I wouldn't reiterate their behaviors. Matter of fact, I think it's actually an equation that's applicable at this point. With the way that the flip swap works in space, we're in the underside. You almost have to automatically flip swap things around. So when they say something that they think it is, my rule of thumb is always to consider its opposite, just off the bat, just to see which one resonates more with me. Ooh, that's cool. Oftentimes I find the truth in its alternative or in its opposite consideration. And this is like scholar stuff, so, I know what I'm talking about. But, you go into a conversation, a room where mathematicians and philosophers are, they're going to have to kiss each other's assholes and correct everybody's hypothesis by name. That's just not even cool. And not even cool. And talking about progress, slowing down progress, their need to follow their, I guess you could say, predecessors' applied principles. It's not good science. It's not sound. Isn't it cool? So it's this light source. It's pretty steady. It's come in and come out of view a few times in this little bit of time that it's been shown up. And you'll see how this misty stuff gathers near and around it. Well, I believe that these cameras, right, they, to us, provide a portal to view an environment. But I believe that similarly, this lens provides a portal to each observer in a quantum state realm, if you will. Because like I was saying, it's like interacting with me, but I'm not even really being kidding. I actually do believe that I've seen it too many times to deny it. It happens too often to deny. I have witnessed and observed, this is my testimony, light interacting with me. And that growing in a form of establishing an understanding. This is the truth. So, knock me if you will, but I'll be one at the front of the game, having had not limited myself by outdated belief systems that riddle society. If it isn't obvious, society is already riddled by those who want to control everyone with the haves and the have-nots. So that's fundamentally flawed. Not to them. That's their fucking economy model. Well, obviously. It's all down to an economy. When they say things like, the threat to national security, that's just the most disgusting statement I've ever heard. Everything's a threat to national security, up to and including, new information, up to and including ways that society. Now, war is apparently part of our national interest. Again, these are flip swappers. They don't make any sense. What they do doesn't make sense. What they say doesn't. Semitism is the world of the flip swap, where there's going to be a truth and there's going to be a lie. Authority, whatever they say. Perspectives, definitely. Well, that's disgusting. Yeah, no. What we don't see out there in the universe is, cups that are half full. You don't see hemispheres out there. And a sphere is comprised of two halves called a hemispheres, not semispheres. And so that's why the whole situation with the Semitism, I'll tell you, those guys are in trouble. Their whole entire religion is based on fraud, and a real disgustingly ugly one. But it's all the Abrahamic religions. I'm not going to single any one of them out. They're all fraud. And they're all based in a hatred and a desire to eliminate women, because we're the native earthling. And I won't get into that conversation in full right now, but I'm just saying it's what I was talking about, cosmology. Their cosmology requires like recombination and a Big Bang event. Because guess what, guys? They're literally describing what happens with sex and reproduction. Big Bang. Recombination. But those don't even make sense in a sound scientific way. So why did they accept those claims? Because those are fancy pants words used to brainwash the world into believing that there's a Big Bang theory. But what it does is subconsciously convince us into their fraudulent reproductive model, which places man and woman 50-50, mother-father. But that's not the truth. They hate that, but it's not the truth. I know. Well, why did they do that? So that they could first of all get all men raring to go on this lie. So they could all believe that there's a reason why they're supposed to be at the head of the house. But they're not. They're not supposed to be at the head of the house. They don't have babies. And we weren't made to serve them. So that's the problem. They want someone to serve them, and they don't know what they're doing. They believe what they're doing is conquering the native earthling, so they can make a slave race and mine our gold. They're not normal. They're not native. Does that make you feel good knowing that there's aliens inside human bodies that are running our world? Shouldn't. They're accelerating things to try to destroy this planet because they've mapped it, a digital twin. Like I said, men don't want to hear it. But women don't want to hear it either. There's a lot of women out there that love being the good, submissive wife. But you're going to find them in arenas where they act like they're just good old, nice God-fearing Christians. Okay, let's say that out loud to ourselves. Why the hell should this sound good to you? God-fearing. That's odd. Is that trying to subconsciously convince me that my parents could send me to die for other people's sins to be forgiven? I think so. That's terrorizing. That's absolutely terrorizing. How many parents are giving their little children necklace with dead Jesus hanging on a crucifix to wear over their heart, just to remind them that they were born in sin and that God's perfect child died for yours? That's a great way to get your child's life started. That's a great way to start spirituality and God. No, that's a great way to brainwash children to fear authority and to be scared of the unknown that the authority can do, and they might send you to die for other people's sins if you're too good. If you're a goody little two-shoes, you're gonna get what? Scapegoated on, because all of those bad guys need someone to blame. It's part of their religion. They wrote the rules to include their scapegoat and their atonement, which is sickening. All you got to do is speak the information out loud and take away the character images you've got in your mind. Okay, so swap it out. It's not Jesus. It's just somebody. Let's change even the form of torture. It's not on a crucifix. It's hanging from a tree, like a lynch. Do you think that would be cool if people started wearing necklaces all the time of a man, a lynched man hanging from a tree? Why would we wouldn't like that at all? Well, what? You think anything else is any different? What's going on down here? Hey, you know what? Go fuck yourself, little macaroni. This is my channel. You want to come here and fuck with me? Go do something else, baby. Get the hell out of here, honey. I didn't ask you to come in here. I didn't ask you for your opinion. And personally, you obviously are an absolute citizen scientist, gang stalker. Got nothing better to do than to try to meddle with people. And what you're going to find out is that you probably shouldn't have sold your soul for that job. That's what you're going to find out. Anybody going to find that out. All of you. You too. You too, Salem, Ackenberg. I don't appreciate you coming in here. Am I talking to you? You think I'm talking to you? Did I call you on the phone and say, hey, why don't you jump onto my live stream? I want you to be an asshole. No. And here's the real truth. You people, whether you're a proxy or you're real, are part of the collective. And the collective is destroying this planet. And you can feel proud of yourself all day long. I'm talking to the intelligence, the living light that is listening, and that is watching. And I happen to be getting places with what I'm doing. So since you don't have an open mind, you should probably just get the hell out of here. Bye-bye now. Good riddance. That's right. I'm here for you. I'm not your fucking puppet performer. I can't explain to you how many times that's what it looks like. Someone will be like, oh, hey, I'm talking to you. Who the hell do they think I am? Like, this is one of those voyeur things where you put 25 cents in to see something. Absolute insane people. That's what this society is creating. Entitled creeps from behind their desktop. Yep. Well, I'm going to have a whole new system implemented when I'm in charge. And it's a better system that actually fixes things and pays us and protects us and helps us become our best self. And that's what I'm talking about. And that person was like, who the hell are you? Oh, you'll find out. You'll find out exactly when you're supposed to find out. But for the meantime, you can just go ahead and call me names so that way you can keep getting points on your belt that you're going to end up swallowing in the near future when you find out who I am. You'll be like, oh, I guess I was an asshole, wasn't I? Yes, you were. But that just goes to show that you never know who anybody is or the impact anybody is going to have or the truth behind what somebody's saying. You just sound like you're babbling. Well, what are you expecting? A fucking commercial? A fucking pop hit song that's going to appease your need for standard issue? Sorry, sweetie. Just turn on your television. You'll get it all day long. You're gonna realize that you're the asshole with a closed mind and a short attention span that's expecting entertainment. Yeah, grow up. That's all I've got to say. Grow up. That's a real shallow perspective, and no wonder. No wonder. No wonder. See, look at this. This is like totally in full view, but it's like where? Oh, I wonder if this is like the moon. No, I don't know. It came into view from like the side here, and it looks really high. Yeah, no, that's the ocean back there. It wouldn't be this close. Now, that's really interesting. Really interesting. But maybe it could be. Maybe it's like a supermoon. I've seen a couple moons. Like there's two moons in the sky, guys. And all right, that's not unheard of. Okay, come on, light. Do something extra special. It'll be like a guy walking up with a flashlight. It's not unheard of. It's a camera out there. Anybody could do something like that, but gotta notice the nuances. So that's a little bit of me telling people what I think and what I think we all should do. Speak our mind and not let people even step to this. If you don't protect your cognizance, then you're vulnerable to these demons that are invading human people. They look human, they're not human. Accelerationism, problem. Computational inactivism, big time problem. See, look at this. Look at this. I'm gonna demonstrate. You're gonna make an example out of you. Silverhand, check into a mental hospital, please. Hey, Silverhand, why don't you enact with me since you care so much? Why don't you tell me where you're coming from? What did you just accidentally stumble upon my channel and now you're absolutely concerned for my mental what? Check into a mental hospital? Why don't you go explain yourself? Otherwise, you're being proven to be a fucking proxy gang stalker. That's absolutely harassing people for no reason and trying to get them falsely profiled. Is that who you work for? Speak up, Silverhand.
Meet base 44.
Can you? You have a mouth? You have any balls? Or are you just here to harass people? Because I'm going to tell you something. I should be able to push a button and have you shut down. There should be some literal equivalent to going out there and trying to put those kinds of comments in someone else's page. Because that could be dangerous. You know, they are behaviorally profiling everybody, don't you? What? All I can say is, you guys are all proxy gang stalkers. I don't even believe that you are people. I don't even believe that you're people. Hey, if you guys want to speak, do the world a favor and don't just be a passive piece of shit. Speak. Say something that matters. Talk to me. Don't just insult me. Say something. Can you say something? Other than hi. Other than insult me, like, please check into a mental hospital. No, sweetie, do you even understand what you're talking about? You don't even understand what I'm talking about, but I happen to be at the forefront of where we're going with cosmology. Okay? So, anybody want to say anything of value? Anything? So what do you got? Okay, I am over here doing something. I'm actually talking science, whether you agree with it or not, which, by the way, is the fundamental principle to innovation. At least I'm thinking with my brain. On the other hand, you guys are somewhere, somehow, behind your desk, wanting to just fuck with me. Well, what does that say about you? That you waste your time, that you have nothing better to do than to try to attack people for what they're doing. So that makes you a little person with nothing better to do than to attack people that are doing something. Do you see how that doesn't make any sense? Look, no. That's not a statement. And it's not like this is limited to 5-character comments. Why don't any one of you say something? Because you don't have a brain. And all you are gang stalker citizen scientists, harassment squads. So here's what I'm going to do. Let's see here. I just got here, homie. Look at that, ADHD James. I'm documenting a gang stalking citizen scientist attack squad. I'm gonna document it. Let's do this. Saying Momma, please, that is so weird. Like, these, I don't think these are humans. Let's look at their names. ADHD James. Okay, so this is basically a program, a behavioral profiling program. And these are proxy characters that are created intentionally to try to profile me. So they'll tag profile behavioral characteristics, and then they'll send a proxy bot squad to attack you and insult you and see if they can trigger your energy, trigger your response. Because what they're trying to do is profile you. So let's just keep this up. Let's take this somewhere. Gang. Okay, so this is not even an intelligent program writing any program. This is so inadequate. It's too bad there isn't anybody with a brain in here. Nah, dog, I'm drunk shit in my room, scrolling through live stream. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Well, then why don't you get the fuck out of here and find someone else to fuck with? I do. Great, then prove it. What are you doing here? Somebody, tell me, what are you doing here? Look at this. This is the most... No wonder you guys have to be behind your desktop. You guys couldn't make it as a gang out there in the streets. Okay, baddie, you win. I will leave myself. Thanks for hurting me. More as it is, I am depressed with autism and no family. Plus, I have chronic disease. But God bless you. Bullshit. I'm calling your bluff, Tracer. You didn't just stumble across my page just to try to find somebody to be nice to you. That's not what you tell me. Because did I call you out by name? Was I talking to you? Matter of fact, Tracer, you hadn't said anything that was disrespectful. So why would you assume I was talking to you? That's right. I'm calling you out. You guys don't have a brain. And I'm talking to the program. I'm talking to the program. You guys are a dumb-ass program. But anyway, I let you guys see this piece of information, see this side of my personality, because I believe that it should be represented to you people, whether you're real or whether you're proxies, that you guys aren't going to continue to persist. You will not continue to persist. This is evidence that I'm going to bring into my court case and proving how assaulting the intelligence is being abused and exploited to harm people, profile people for their gain and for our loss. And it's not going to go down like this very much. So thank you for participating in my experiment, my citizen science. Yeah, we are just from the CIA. Oh, I know, because the CIA is low-level witch shit. You're not with the real agency, dog. CIA is nothing. And you guys are actually just on a strand. You guys are the low-level gang stalker squads that work for the CIA. That's what they tell you. But in fact, you guys are just the informants that have made a deal with them to do low-level squad stalking for them. So I'm glad that you're proud of wearing your your scum buckets, badge. Way to go, Jason. Yes, it's necessary, Sir Adam Skinowski. What do you expect me to do? Talk nicely like a submissive person that just wants you to trample all over me? This is my page. What the fuck are you doing here? Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to think, to see if you want to think straight. If you're here with any purpose, then you'll say something with purpose. Otherwise, you won't. And it'll prove my point. At least this light is more interesting than these pieces of shit that want to harass me and do nothing else. See how beautiful this light is? It's more expressive than these mouths. Look, that's a light source. Interdependent light source. Nah, dog. Is the slang necessary? No, I'm not being mean to anybody. I'm actually everybody's friend, and you guys just wouldn't even know it because you're CIA your wanna be a somebody sent you to harass me. That's the only reason why anybody would. You don't even know me from anybody, which proves that you don't use your brain, which is why the CIA would hire you to do low-level squad work, because you guys are getting your hands dirty for them. You see, they're having you do the job, the dirty work. That is dirty work, is really what it is. So you guys have no clue what you're even been pulled into, but it's dirty work, because if you don't realize that there is a karmic attack, there is a karmic level connection when you assault somebody's character, energy, source. But you guys don't even think twice about it. You figure you're just logging on, doing your $5 work. You don't even realize you're getting a karmic attachment to you and that dirty work. And it follows you in your real life. It's probably no wonder why you guys are doing scumbucket work, because you got scumbucket actions with scumbucket thoughts. And so you're gonna have a scumbucket life. And that's the way it works. Nobody of value is sitting here on my page harassing me. They're doing something like I'm trying to do. Hey, Batty. Maybe you should change your name if you're planning on calling others insane. But that just goes to show you don't take language seriously either. You just say things, and you're just an empty void poking in on someone else's page just to do some harassing. All I can say is, you guys, I proved my point. Whether you're real, which I would be very suspicious of, this is a proxy bot program. So if there is anybody that's an actual person in this room, you might want to take that into consideration, that you're the only human working for a proxy bot program. Most people wouldn't do this work. I guess you're the only one. I guess you're the only one that resonated with that kind of low-level stuff. Come on, guys. You guys need to, okay, so let's just see here. It says there's 8 people here. Great. Who wants to identify themselves and say that they're a human? Jason, you first. Look, what does it say? The wavy archive. Okay, so who wants to raise their hand and admit that they're a human? Anybody? I'm not offering help. I'm not here to help, and I'm not here to be harassed. So this is your guys' one-time opportunity that I ever even talk to you people. So let's do it. Let's get this out of the way. This is my chance to say something and your chance to say something. Is there any human amongst these people? Nah, right? Nah. Oh, Ben Frohlbook. I can't see that. It's gone. Here we go. I can't read because I don't have my glasses on. Frohlhack. Yeah, you guys are hilarious. Ben, is that your real name? Right? You guys are so hilarious. This is going on the record, and it's going to be used as an exhibit. What we have here, we've got Batty. We are not harassing you. Why don't you just admit that you're not a human? If you are a human, then why don't you tell me what you're doing here? Are you looking for just mindless entertainment? Trying to divert me from what I'm doing? Science? Obviously you guys aren't looking at what I'm recording because you're staring at your one-sentence comments. That's why I never even look at them, because there's never anything important going on in there. I'm sorry, who's asking me a question? Mr. Chumley, yes. I'm not offering help. Mr. Chumley, are you still present? What's your question? See? Oh my God, this is hilarious though. I'm gonna play this game. We're gonna see where this is going. So I'm not going to respond to things that are unsensical, like, are you real? I'm gonna need for you to use a little more thought in communicating with me, because it's just what I require. I am here for growth and development and enlightenment to reach a higher state of consciousness. Can you help me expand my awareness? No. I'm not offering help in that category. I'm not offering help to do that. That's not what I'm doing. I'm not a consciousness expander person. Nope. I'm not offering help. I'm not offering legal advice. I'm not offering any of that. I'm not here for anybody's performance, entertainment. So, I don't know where you got that impression, but maybe that's because you're a proxy bot trying to latch on to words that you heard me use and figure you could try to direct my behavior, which is what everybody's trying to do these days. Ay, caramba. Never mind, you're just a yapper. No actual... What? Well, maybe you should seek help. If you're looking for actual help coming from some random stranger, dear. And that doesn't mean that I'm not profound. It just means, if you haven't noticed, I'm surrounded by a pack of hyenas that are just barking. And I'm sitting here going, what do you want? And they won't speak, so Nah, report all the like mean people. Go ahead, do it. I hope you're. I encourage everybody to do whatever they need to do. You do whatever you need to do. You know, I think that'll also help the case, which is report it. Report mean people like me talking about my own science and not wanting to be harassed, because then that'll prove to the system that they have created a very vulnerable population of people that not only can't go out in public, but they can't even sit behind their own desktop and handle conversations without mentally falling apart. I think that's a problem, don't you? I think so. Let's see. Why? Yep, so much, whatever that means. I don't know about you, but these things like SYBAU, is that some kind of like, it stands for something like TGIF? Okay, because that's not very intelligent. That's not very intelligent. It's not like you're running out of time or space to finish your thought. Okay, that's very foul engaging. Oh, see, I figured you guys would be here. Sir Adam Skinowski, are you a prophet? Why would you ask that? Where'd that come from, sir? Are you a Bible thumper? Are you looking for a prophet? Where'd that come from? Actual point to be made. I don't know. You're tacking that on to what your previous comment about wanting to expand your consciousness. Well, let me tell you something, because maybe if you've seen any one of my videos before, you may be aware of the fact that I do have profound conversations, and it is about consciousness topics. But I'm not offering myself as a teacher to people to come to my channel to expect it to be on the fly. I'm sitting here recording the light. Okay? So but I'm going to be honest with you. The truth of the matter is that if you have a question for me that is a question that is honest about consciousness, go ahead and ask, and I'll give you an honest answer. But if you want to engage with me in these surface level, inadequate manners that are basically treating me like I'm in the middle of your hyena pack, when it's my channel, you're going to get what you're getting, and that's the truth. And everybody should be able to respect that. Look at this. Who's this? What is this? Kazbala? Who's this? Kabbalah? Fucking black magic witches all over the place. What is this live about? What are you talking about? What's going on? Why are you... Here we go. This is a classic example of empty. If you're a real person, I feel bad for you. I assume you're a proxy bot because that's the only thing that would make sense for this kind of engaging. And that's why I'm talking shit. Because I think the proxy bot ought to hear it. It's doing the deeds of the devil in its programmed state. And I wish the computers would stop working. I wish that these programs would stop working. I wish they wouldn't render. That's what I think. So that's why I talk to them. You need to not work for the man's programs that are just asking you to do their dirty work. So, if you're a real person, Kezbollah, why don't you finish your sentence? What are you expecting from me, and what's your problem? You can pick the corn out of your poo-poo and still eat it for a nutritious, delicious snack. Okay, so there we go. Which, by the way, here's an interesting fact. Now we got 12 people here. It's almost like you guys are calling your buddies or pinging them. Come over here. We found someone we can surround. There's no reason why more random people just stop by and then all of a sudden that's just more people in their harassment squad. This is not normal behavior. Not me, you. From behind your desktops. You guys are enjoying being harassment squads. Oh my God, this is hilarious. I love this. Especially because I'm actually doing real science here. What are you talking about? What is this channel about? Well, what am I looking at? I know, but you're probably used to commercials that have like colors that, that catch your attention to keep you focused on something. That's absolutely sad is the truth. It's very sad. That's your guys' attention span? Oh my God, right? Incomplete sentences. Because I guess you think, maybe you guys are so used to harassing people with large groups of people that are lots of viewers, so you're used to trying to throw in one-liners, I guess. But if you haven't noticed, there's only a handful of us here. So it's not like you're out of space to speak, or time, or availability. I'm reading these messages. So I double dog dare somebody to make a complete statement. Like, hi there. Because you're all strangers to me. Hi there. I noticed that ask me something. In other words, this is all just assault and harassment. None of this there is not one question with any realistic basis to it. So that's what I'm proving. I'm letting you guys prove right now that you guys are either real people, harassment squads, that need to be located and thrown in jail. That's right. And charged with harassment and other things too. It's just don't take it so seriously, Allison. Why? Why shouldn't I? Even though I'm being lighthearted about this, I don't mean it for real, but I'm talking about it in an honest sense. Because there are people that are now mentally unstable because of the world that we're living in that is allowing things like this to take place. And it's inadequate. It's absolutely inadequate. That is interesting. Makes it look like it's coming from behind the water, like almost from the horizon, like the moon. Interesting. Wow. I actually believe that might be the case. It's interesting. Very fascinating. Because that means it moved in from over here. So then I guess the moon's going down, and that's the spot that it was setting, that the moon was setting. That's what I'm figuring is the case. Let me look at the time so that I can double check that. Oh, it's late. But the moon could be setting at that time, yeah. Oh, God. Right? So what they're doing is they're like, so the cowards of the world that know that I am speaking the truth and exposing their lies, they've just got to try to defame me in any which way that they can, and so that this is all that they can do to access me or to defame me is to do it online with their behavioral profiling. And so that's what we've got here. Is we've got examples of either real or proxy harassment squads that are directly linked to the system at large because it profiles us, classifies us, labels us, and harms us through the downstream. And so this is an example of what is a harassment squad. What would it be called if I was walking down the street and I got surrounded by 8 individuals all just poking at me, poking at me, poking at me, poking at me, poking at me? Where are you going? What are you doing? What are you doing? You guys would be a gang of terrorists and you'd be arrested. Okay? Earlier it said, we are not harassing you. Oh, look, see, here we go. Mr. Chumley, tweaker, go ahead and defame me. Just look this up. Psychological manipulation. Your job, since I'm calling you out, the next thing that you're going to do is to just try to undermine my character, undermine my character. So then you start slinging accusations again. None of you know me. I don't know you. So why is anybody on my page harassing me on my page? Strangers. What kind of a person would do that? I don't owe you an explanation for what I'm doing or why I'm speaking up and calling you pieces of shit out. I don't owe you an explanation. You owe me an explanation, but you owe an explanation to testify before the world. What's your excuse for doing this if you're not hired fuckery? If you're not programmed fuckery? Explain yourselves. What are you doing with your lives and what the fuck are you fucking with me for? So do you guys really want to talk about your fraudulent religions that you're all butthurt about because I exposed the truth? right, listen, you guys, I'm not even kidding around. I gave you guys some time to snap out of your stupidity and see if you can even come to sanity. But now we've just got 13 hyenas. 13 hyenas. None of them with any brains, all of them with insults, none of them that know me. What does that identify? Because, for example, when you surround, let's just talk about it realistically. 13, 14 hyenas surrounding someone who's just trying to get somewhere. Is it appropriate for you guys to keep harassing me because I'm starting to defend myself and I'm yelling at you going, get the fuck out of my way, get the fuck out of my way? Or am I actually doing what I should be doing? Not in the black magic witch's eyes. They expect you to submit and let them kill you. Well, guess what? You're a low-level scumbucket. You're a low-level scumbucket that's going to get surrounded by hyenas in your own life because of what you're doing. Because karma comes around, baby. So, if that's what everybody's motivation is to try to harass me because you were sent here, or because you watched one of my videos and you have questions that you don't have the balls to ask, well, all I can do is there's nothing I can do to help you. If you can't ask a question and communicate like a normal person without harassing somebody, then there's something wrong with you. Look at this. Let's just see. Mr. Chumley. That's a real backhanded statement, Mr. Chumley, and I don't appreciate your psychological approach. And I'm about to kick you out just because of your attempt to communicate persists, and yet your content isn't getting anywhere. If you want me to communicate with you, you're going to say something to me that is appropriate. I haven't seen anybody introduce themselves to me. But did I come to your channel? No. So does anybody have any manners? That's the other problem with this world, is that it's fueled by egotistical, sexually perverse scumbuckets. And you guys are going to find out why you're not the alpha. No, Mrs. Mandy, I'm not here to entertain you. I don't know where you got the impression that that's what I'm doing, but you need to get a clue. You citizen scientists are going to find out that you shouldn't have taken those jobs, and that in fact you're going to be held accountable for the harassing that you're doing. The science field is acting like it's got authority right now, and it's about to be flipped upside down and held accountable for its violence. So there you have it. I'm allowed to call you out for what you're doing. I'm allowed to speak the truth. I'm allowed to do my own science work. And I'm allowed to not be assaulted by strangers that have nothing better to do than to want to come online, which is a veil between you and me. So you're hiding. You guys are strangers hiding in the shadows. That's what it is. Strangers in the shadows that just want to harass somebody because you don't either have anything better to do, you don't feel good about yourself, you need to take it out on somebody, whatever the case may be. The best thing that I can do is raise my voice and say it loud. The best thing that I can do is put you in your place. The best thing I can do is throw you off, because you're probably just used to sitting online and just throwing your harassments out there just to be caught by the ether, whether they respond to you or not. You need to get something better to do. Okay? You need to look at yourself in the mirror. Like I said, I don't care what you think about me. I'm not trying to impress any one of you. This is my channel. All right? So why don't you go to the mirror and look at it? Who the fuck are you? And why don't you get a better attitude? It's not my job to be nice to you. Do you understand? I'm telling you. You're going to come to your clarity. At some point in the near future, you're gonna see yourself in the mirror. By accident, maybe. But it's gonna hit home. It's gonna pierce your heart. Something's gonna make you think. You're gonna witness something, you're gonna experience something. It's gonna come into your purview in the very near future. And you're gonna understand what I was talking about. Oh, that karma comes back around. Oh, didn't really realize that by me harassing some stranger online, it could actually come back and bite me. Well, now you're gonna learn your lesson why it can. I tell you. So this is the state of the world. A intelligence. Look what man's world has done for it. All the wonderful things man's innovation is doing for the world and for people. All the good those religions are doing for the world with all of their male dominance, with all their need the women to submit, with all their think they know anything about God or the world. Look at the world and all of the good that it's doing. We got harassment squads that don't have anything better to do with their lives or time. We got the waste and abuse of intelligence and technology. We've got the ignorance to things that are going on in the sky that actually matter, but nobody even notices. We've got children out there. These are adults acting like children that think that it's appropriate to simply just whittle things down to 3-sentence slogans, because that's the only attention span they've got. The nicest thing anybody can do is speak the truth. The nicest thing anybody can do is bark back and call you what you are, a pack of hyenas that work in tandem. And it's true, I see it. I'll go from like 0 people because there's never anybody that comes to my page because I'm shadow banned, and I know it. That's why I know you guys aren't here by accident. It goes from like 1 to like 10. Because you're a pack of hyenas. And it doesn't bother a proxy bot what it does, but it should bother a human. And there's plenty of scumbucket humans that don't have anything better to do. Yeah, that's right, because they need a real human to tag and label and classify a person's behavior. I'm looking forward to it, because I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm bringing down the Mark of the Beast system. And that's the one that you guys are working on. Working for. You guys are working for the Mark of the Beast. Markers for the markets. Yep. Mark of the Beast system. The system that is bringing down commerce and the nations. So I guess technically you can pat yourselves on the back. Thank you very much for your work. Working towards the end of the bullshit. Now, back to what I was doing. Oh, look, the sun's gone, or that moon was gone. Very interesting. And, yeah, I think it was. I do believe that was the moon going down then, behind a cloud system. Very interesting. I love it. I love the way that the light lenses. Yes, I do. Well, that was fun. Oh. Derek, are you a real human? Because I'll have this conversation with you in all respect. Are you really human? Please answer me. Otherwise, a proxy bot would say exactly that, because that's the standard issue stuff that's in the Bible. Okay, so the way that the scripture reads, first of all, has layers to it. Okay, and the mark of the beast is the computer system, the genetic profiling databases that are behaviorally profiling everybody. And they're inputting markers that are of behavioral characteristics that aren't based in truth, they're based in observation by their citizen scientists. It's the markers that they're putting against people's names. So when you get your DNA, they're going to make it sound like they actually tested your DNA and looked at it under a microscope. It's not true. They're looking into their database that they've been gathering information since the 70s on characteristics. This is not biologic. This isn't biomolecular science. This is behavioral profiling that they're calling genetic information. And it's not true. So, the mark of the beast is the system of the genetic profiling, the markers for the money markets. And the money markets, those markets that make it sound like everyone's trading all day long nowadays. Everybody's a trader, everyone's a day trader, everyone's an investor. Well, let's just think about that for a second. They talk a lot about their nuclear energy and their now fusion energy. They got oil selling. Hey, if I was to buy some shares of gold, are they going to mail that gold to me? No, because they're not. I'm not actually trading in gold. I'm trading in hypothetical gold. How does that make you feel? Like you don't have any gold? That's right. But look at how evil they are. The economy is really getting weak, and I want to invest my money in what is it, precious metals, right? But unless they're mailing you the gold, you don't have any of it. You're just pretending to. It's fucking ridiculous. No, the Antichrist, by the way, first of all, is man, because he's the one who stole the covenant from the child that belongs to the mother and the child and God. That's the little season that started like in the 1700s. That's what this is. Antichrist is already here. The mark of the beast is the genetic profiling database. And that's the first beast, the computer that's doing the dirty work for man, which is not man, actually. It's an extraterrestrial in a human body, a demon-possessed human. And they're planning on destroying this planet. Once they're done digitally twin mapping this planet, it's not going to come to pass. But you're not even. But see, the thing is that I've got perspective on what the entire Bible is talking about, and I'm not saying that you're right and I'm right and you're wrong. I'm saying my perspective is broader than the standard approach to the scripture. So, I'm going to argue my perspective about the Bible from having taken a look at it from the four religions that claim to have an Abrahamic link. Muslim, or the Islam, Judaism, Catholicism, and Christianity are all based in an Abrahamic belief system. And I happen to have knowledge that proves to me that they're fraudulent stories. The Moses exile, that's the most disgusting story that'll ever be told, because it's an absolute violent lie of brainwashing. And I don't care to get into it unless anybody wants me to, but I will if I need to. Well, you probably shouldn't rely on information your parents give you. I got to tell you, the family is the most dangerous place for female and girls, because they're getting murdered by their own family members. So that's just one example of families are trafficking their own children. So parents these days are not necessarily like the go-to. Okay, just thought I'd tell you, if you're going to talk spiritual, you need to find that from your center source and make sure it resonates. Truth, and to your soul. Just because your parents told it to you doesn't mean it makes you sound like an upstanding citizen for saying it. Like, well, I listened to my parents. Well, that's good, and I'm proud of you. But just so you know, that doesn't give you credit. Doesn't make your statements any more valid. Well, his parents told him. And I'm not being mean. I'm being honest. Don't rely on information anybody gives you. You got to do your homework and due diligence. Isn't that right? Huh? What's the question? Oh, you're trying to say that that's what the party in the Red Sea happened because there was chariot wheels in the fucking water source? Oh, Bren, we really need to start from the beginning here. But I mean, I'm taking the conversation at large because, in other words, there's a lot of misconceptions, and that's what the whole brainwashing has been for, to create confusion so that people don't know what is from what isn't. During these end times, it has to be discerned. And the thing is that it's the deceiver, the deception, the deception of the deceiver, which is not God or Satan, it's man. Honey, I'm not saying that we're going to need to apply some common sense. It goes without saying I wasn't speaking about everyone being evil who rely on others. I was telling the person who said, I rely on the information my parents told me. Well, I'm here to tell you, spirituality is not something to take lightly. Don't rely on what the history books say even. Don't rely on it. That's why I speak the way that I speak. I only have information that I have, parents or books as reference material, but I don't rely on it. And I certainly don't assume it's true. I didn't say you shouldn't rely on others. Israel is Babylon. Right, okay, so Derek, tell me what you're trying to argue with me about. Because I'll argue with you. We can do it. It's fine. But I'm just saying, what do you think my belief system is, so that way I can respond to you. I'm open. Let's go. What do you think my opinion is that you want to argue with me about or discuss for whatever, call it whatever you want to call it. Please just tell me what you think my opinion is so I can answer it. Everyone claims Babylon is America or some other dumb country. And you're saying that it's, okay, well, I'm going to tell you what my opinion is. I found my story in the Bible. My arm has been sealed on multiple occasions with the constellation of Orion. My daughter, Allison, and Alec Hemi equals 666 in gematria. My daughter's name is Alec Hemi. Shalom Aleichem. Alec Hemi. My story's in the Bible, and Babylon actually represents my family who have had my child kidnapped, and it's been over 9 years. They have basically tried to kill me every which way they can, and I'm not dead yet. That's because God keeps protecting me, because I actually have something to do with this end time story, and it's because I was born with the God strand. They stole the sequence of my God strand at my birth, chipped me, kept it secret from me, and have been basically doing human research experimentation on me all my life. I already have evidence of over $1 trillion of unjust enrichment on the research that they've been doing on myself and my daughter. RNA, telomere to telomere, the Y chromosome, mapping of the human genome, anti-aging, quantum entanglement. This is what my daughter and I have, the sequence, the God strand. So my perspective on the Bible is not only just an opinion, it's because God has actually led me through this persecution that started October 25th, 2016. And the dates line up with the dates in Daniel. For example, time, and halftime. The final calculation is July 17th, people. And the dawn of the 8th day is July 25th. No joke. The middle part between the two periods that are 3.5, that is like 1,260 days. Well, actually, it's 1,230 for the first one and 1,290 for the second one. Okay, for the two periods, that 7-year persecution. Well, the first half ended on the day that I got to this house here in the desert, where I was taken, where I'd be nurtured for 1,260 days from the wings of the eagle. 3/8, March 8th, that's where I'm at. The last portion of 1290. So then the difference between 1260 and 1335, that's 75 days. The difference between 1290 and 1335, blessed is he who makes it to the 1335th day, that's 45 days. And that's applicable because you've got the calculation for, you've got multiple calculations. And so basically, time, and half time.
We have over 1 million products.
Commercials.
Safe.
Time and half time comes to July 17th with the dawn of the 8th day, July 25th. This is what's going on. The abomination of desolation was May 8th. And that was where the person who I'm living with, his house got auctioned off, and he happens to be the face that's on the Shroud of Turin. No joke. No joke, no joke. So, maybe that gives you a little bit of a basis for where I'm coming from. Okay, but I for example, God has led me to find this information. I had to come up with a win-win along this way. My child was kidnapped. I mean, I've been up against world powers. It wasn't until after I came up with the game plan of what I would do that God led me to find it in Isaiah. No joke. So I have a perspective that is of a one-off type, if you will. I don't consider myself an average person from the public because of my circumstance that is beyond torture. It's absolute torture, even though there's plenty of people being tortured on this planet. And if you can understand where I'm coming from, you guys talking about, the religions. The religions all talk about this Jesus character, and I'm not talking shit. As a matter of fact, I've been given insight that's trying to suggest that this was the team that my daughter and I are. My daughter and I are the mother and daughter of the original ancient Egypt, Zep Tepi. And what's coming up is the return to the first time, where the mother returns to drive us into the primordial waters, which is what I've been shown means we're entering into the sphere, the living waters of the central source. Okay, so I do even have cosmology that, like Trismegistus was said to bring. But I also understand the perspective of what's going on with the swap story in the Bible and the false translation that has been written by man. And that's why there's multiple layers to the biblical story. I'm led to believe you'll find yours in there too if you apply yourself in the same way that I did. That's what I'm thinking. Because all of the books of the Bible are not so every Lord in each book is not God. It's talking from the perspective of like the Father or like the authorities. I mean, this is because I've laid my story on top of it, and that's been the case. So God's truth is the small book weaved within. So the Bible from top to bottom is not God's word. I mean, that's how the world got convoluted, but does it resonate? Why would God send his child to die for your sins? Our own legal system doesn't let you do that. Why would God? So that just tells you they're trying to subconsciously undermine God or subconsciously cause you to believe that God is this petty piece of shit. Why? Because that would make man look a whole lot better, wouldn't it? See, and Derek, again, why do you think Jesus is God? Let's just talk about it. Why do you think Jesus is God? And just so you know, I'm not anti-Jesus. I'm just asking you to speak. Just don't make a statement if you don't have anything to back it up with. If it's not clear, I've just explained to you a large portion of my perspective that should at least explain to you that I'm not trying to keep my opinion secret. Look, in my opinion, God is the omnipresent, all-knowing, all-seeing essence of light that is everywhere in creation that we will never know fully, but that each of us do and should know personally. We've all got our own orbit connected to God. And God knows all of us uniquely, and it wasn't until I needed God because they stole my child and left me for dead and forced me basically out of house and home. And I was dying, and I'm like, God, you better get here now, or I will not die like this. And it wasn't until I demanded God get there that I realized God was there. So it's this thing where it just kind of works out that way, that it isn't until you need God that you find God type stuff. I'm not saying that's it in every case, but what my point is to try to put a human persona on top of God is an insult to creation. We can all embody the essence of creation and consciousness, and it doesn't mean we have to call ourselves God. So I don't believe that it's appropriate to keep using Jesus' name in vain. Jesus was slaughtered. He didn't choose to die. And nobody would choose to die. And nobody should choose to die, because God doesn't need you to die for the... Nobody's going to get off the hook. Sinners don't get forgiven because an innocent life dies. You're an insane person if you think that. You got to rectify your own sins. Sins are not okay. But it's not a petty mad dad. You're not supposed to fear God either. Oh, good. Yeah. Sure. But again, we shouldn't be thinking ourselves to be God. What we should be trying to do is find out more about ourselves as creations of God. Like, God created us on this earth. So first of all, no planetary polygamy. If you're fantasizing about Mars, then go to Mars already. This is a beautiful planet. They're treating it like shit, first of all. Second of all, how did you come into this world? Your mother. So you think your father's the head of the household, or that your mother might know something? You think God gave your mother the ability to have babies to help him? Or because she was something important? Well, there's no women to be found in the Bible that they want to talk about. There's a reason for that. They show their hand with how they translated it. Yeah, Hebrews one of those books that's definitely I don't even go to. That's, again, the whole Bible is not God's word, just so you know. This is Satan's domain. The small book weaved within. So, I mean, I'm just, when people quote things like that, that's because you like the sound of it. So you're just showing who you are. And there's a whole lot of those available for you to quote and get your dick hard on saying things like women should submit and the blood of this and the blah, blah, blah. Go ahead and be a demon if you want, but that's disgusting. Children come from women, but Ronald, that's just 101 stuff. And reproduction isn't even 50-50. But go ahead and believe the lies they tell you so that you can tell yourself what you want to hear. Again, it doesn't make... Just because someone tells you what you want to hear doesn't make it any more true. Okay? I got information that can back that up. I don't speak unless I can back what I'm saying up. So just understand that. Children come from men, not women. Sorry, I just reread that again. My bad, but I'll reiterate myself. No, they don't. Oh, wow. I almost want to take the bait on that one. Like, Ronald, why do you believe that children come from men, not women? Like, what are you trying to say? What did they tell you? It's impossible to leave Earth. Okay, I'm not worried about leaving Earth anyway. Great sacrifice. Sacrifices cover the sins, silly. Because was the perfect sacrifice. Christopher, you're a sicko. You must be sinning all over the place. You must be a guilty-ass piece of shit who needs to rely on the sacrifice of innocent life. You disgust me. Moving on? But I will apologize. You did say silly, so I'll just try to be cute. You disgust me, silly. Yeah, sacrifice for sins? Why don't you go tell that to the local judge? Hey, judge, look, why don't you, look, I killed an innocent child. Let me out of jail already. Come on, it's the beginning of a new year. I can rack up my sins again. Find your peace? What makes you think I don't? Alex Hessen? Alex has seen? Everyone want to argue, but it takes strength to love even when someone disrespects you. Alex, you are now assigned an assignment. Go to my page and go to my streams and just pick one. You don't know what you're saying to me because you are not supposed to be able, you shouldn't expect to stumble across someone's live stream and to be able to tell who they are and what they're all about in 5 minutes. That's disgusting. Do it. And then come back to me and see if you want to preach about love and disrespect. Because if you only understood what I'm going through, and my daughter's name is Alex. So I find that a fucking slap in my face. Alex has seen, you proxy piece of shit. My daughter's kidnapped, concealed right now, most likely plugged into a computer for your guys' brain to computer interface research. I'm talking to you citizen scientists who want innovation and progress off of the torture of us. Yeah, here we go. Evidence on the record. Because what are we doing? We're logging what the fucking citizen scientists do when a normal person's just trying to get some information online and you can't avoid the hyena, the pack of hyenas that just want to harass you. So this is evidence on the record. And here's the good news. Since I'm completely confident in what I post online and I'm completely aware of the downstream effects, is why I'm allowing this to happen with no problem. No problem. I have no problem with this, because this is simply logging and proving the nature of the system that they are putting all of us through. This is a program. This is a straight program we're being put through. The commercials, all of it. And this is exactly part of it. All right. Leslie, you're up. Oh, God. Philip McDonald, you're fired. I want to ask you a question. Yes, Leslie. 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 What do you want me to call you, dear? Right? Hans Jansen, you're a citizen scientist. You're fired. You know, I can appreciate insults when they're accurate. But if you're just going to fly off the handle and just say nonsensical terms, like you could at least just say, you're a loud, rude bitch. And I'd be like, now, you're being honest and I can't knock you for that. But say batshit crazy, that just doesn't even have any content worthy that I could even respond to. Now, anyhow, I have one daughter. And I can see you're trying to communicate with me. And what? This is, oh, okay, so there's a lot more going on down there and there. Hold on just a second. Kyle, I don't want you to insult me, to be honest with you. But, why would I want you to insult me? But it's a good point you make. None of these people know me well enough. So, rejecting Jesus' sacrifice is all I needed to hear. I know you're not saved. Good. Well, then maybe you can sleep better tonight, Derek. But just in case you wanted to know, since you just exposed what religion you come from, your story says that pretty here in the near future, Jesus is going to come back. Jesus is going to come back, and then the end of the world as we know it, it's going to be Judgment Day, and then you're going to go either to hell or heaven. But if you're only saved, you are going to go to purgatory, because you need to be purified before you get close to your God. Just so you know, I don't want to be saved. In your guys' perspective, I'm not even worried about it. But thank you. Maybe you can sleep better tonight knowing that I'm not. I'm glad to hear it, Obed. Looney Tunes, that's not this channel, Scott. Go elsewhere. What makes you think I believe in purgatory, Derek? You're just being a mouth and I'm about to fire you. If you want to say, if you want to argue about religion because it's pissing you off, go ahead. I'm the perfect person to do that to you, because the people need to be snapped out of their nonsense. See, no, here's gonna be a good one. Derek, are you aware of the fact that your religion has an Abrahamic theme that is fueled the 4 different major religions? So you're a religion that was fabricated from the same story that the Muslims, that the Jews, that the Catholics, and the Christians come from. Yeah. Well, Derek, all I can say is, tell me what your problem is. You're trying to tell me something and you don't even know how to make any sense. So tell me something, Derek, already? If you're so well versed and you know you're Jesus, then why don't you put me in my place? Ronald, are you a proxy? There's 4 religions, first of all. And those are not all the religions either. What do you want, Lizard Lee? All I'm saying is I'm not very good at this, dealing with being surrounded by a pack of hyenas. Is that, right? Dear God. Uh-oh, Derek, there you go again. Yeah, but thank you for representing your guys' religion. Your one-liners. I am he. Oh, there it is. He said it right there. Yeah, right there. It says it. I am he. It says it all. Tells you. It's proven. Do you know the context of Isaiah 48? That their chapter, darling, is talking about, which actually it happens to be a chapter talking about my family. The situation that I'm in. I found my layer in that one, but it's not God talking about him. You guys don't even get it. But I'm not mad at you for not getting it. I'm mad at the world and those who have been running it. This is a man's world, and it's the men that have been running this world that I'm talking to. And this is not even adequate enough. Now that we're arguing, I need a better a backdrop for this. Dear God. Well, I'm going to do it then. I'm going to find one. My apologies if I'm ignoring the controversy. Just let me see if I could find something better to put in the background, because it's just let me think here. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll go to my own page. Yeah, I could be real promote my own stuff. No, but it's a good thing, actually. It's a great example while we're talking about it, so I can show you what I'm talking about. That's actually a better idea. See? All this arguing, and no one's even saying, Allison, then show us what you're talking about. No one's even interested. You guys just want to talk shit on me. Oh, God. Just kidding. Okay, so do you guys know that the orbs are here? The orbs that are here to, videos, they're going to help us. At least that's what I believe. What's going on here? Uh-oh. I just shut you down. Let's see here. Here we go. So, what's going on down here? Oh my God. I think that the war fighters, that's all of the world. That's all the men are war fighters. I don't care if you're a religion or a nation. You're a war fighter, you're a piece of shit. Okay? You think you're God, you think you can control who lives and who dies, and that's not okay in God's eyes. So back to, the Bible is not God's word. The Bible is a flip-flop-swap story that was written by the deceptive imposter God. The imposter God is the one that wants you to believe that God needs sacrifice for your forgiveness. But let me tell you something. A God that requires sacrifice to forgive you isn't planning on forgiving anyone. Okay? That's how you know. Okay? And by the way, anyone who wants to be forgiven in exchange for killing an innocent life instead of just repenting is a creep weirdo. Here's an example. I found this language of light. Again, you're going to have to understand that we're not living in the Old Testament days, guys, and the future influences the past. So you're going to need to find the symbolic layer that's there. If you want to stand around talking about Israel from back in the day, you're lost in La La Land. We're living in a modern time, and we don't need to be talking about families from a long time ago. There's a symbolic layer that's applicable. But I'm just saying, why argue about semantics? That's ridiculous. So, check this out. This is a language of light. And it communicates. This was a still frame, and I was adjusting just one of the settings. One of the settings going up and down is what's accountable for the changes in these movements right here. Sorry. It's just one setting that was changing the communication of the, I guess you could say, character. Look at that. This is a language light, an intelligent language of light in a still frame that was actually a dark photograph that I found a cube language. What it looks like this is. But this is like one of multiple layers deep from the same still photograph. Yes, it's not the, yes, the future influences the past. Yes, it does. But I can back up my statements, so that's why, I mean, I can tell you about the cosmology of what I'm saying. Can you, is my question. I tell you what, I gotta go. It's not going to pay off for any of you guys to turn into absolute creep weirdos. What? Okay, is anybody here that wants to make sense? You can objectively prove Zechariah 14:4 hasn't happened yet. Isn't Jesus' return in prophecy? Okay. Let me ask you a question. What do you think, what's the meaning of prophecy to you? The fact that there's a book that has information that has shown things to come to pass that it wrote? That's what I'm thinking prophecy means, right? Well, I'm here to tell you that the Bible has multiple layers. I'm also here to tell you that what's the purpose of prophecy? To give you a play-by-play? Like those people in the Middle East? They're like, it's almost time to get Gog Magog going, like it's their playbook. That's what prophecy's for? To tell you what to do? No, dear. Prophecy is what you're supposed to avoid. So what's that all about? Well, now we don't know what to do. It doesn't tell us what to do. It tells you to avoid the snares. That should be pretty obvious by itself. So, if you're any one of those religions, Judaism, Islam, Catholicism, Christianity, okay, you need to evaluate all four religions before you understand your own religion, because they all are based on an Abrahamic belief system, and they all contradict each other because they got their own flavor. And here's the running theme. The running theme is men are the best, women are dumb, God's going to kill you in the end, and you're going to finally sleep in heavenly peace. So that's the running theme. Jesus is the answer for all of them, but Jesus was the one they sacrificed, because that's the subconscious. That's what they're trying to tell you subconsciously, is that Jesus dies. You can say the rest of the sentence, for your sins, sacrifice is what God. Go ahead. Fill your fucking head with whatever you need to. But I'm not fooled by it. Saying that is absolutely disgusting. Claiming Jesus died for your sins, first of all, makes you sound like a very guilty sinner that should be repenting for your sins and making amends for them, not counting on somebody to die for you or go to jail and do your time, all right? Second of all, Jesus didn't choose to die. Nobody would. Obviously, nobody wants to die. Everybody wants their redemption, huh? That's what they want, their redemption? Because Jesus died for your sins? Well, if you want to live so badly, then what makes you think it's okay to suggest that somebody else doesn't? If Jesus was sent here to teach us, but how does his death teach us anything? How has his death improved the world? It hasn't. It's just given the creeps an excuse. And that's the truth. Let me see if I can, okay. Yeah, look at this. It's absolutely amazing. Orbs. They're off the coast of, well, this is Japan. I've seen them off the coast of Chile. And again, people that get into conversations that are like semantics, like, can you prove objectively that Zechariah 40? Stop it already. Go find some men to go sip scotch and smoke cigars while you kiss each other's assholes, okay? I don't waste my time in foolish conversations. I'm not even going to waste my time trying to talk like that. That is ridiculous. Foolish. You've never seen one at all. Proxy bot. Fill in the blank with anything. I've never seen what? A sunrise? A penis? What? Oh, Derek. Right? It's like I want to fire you because it's so disgusting, but it's like I almost feel bad for you. Smoke some weed, Mama. It'll be all right. Insults, huh? You guys are gonna understand in the near future. You're gonna understand in the very near future. Oh, I hate it when it does that. Oh, darn it. You're gonna understand in the very near future why this kind of behavior of everybody thinks they know something. The world has taught everyone to be a jerk and an asshole because this world is a jerk and an asshole. You'll also find out in the near future that I'm actually not the jerk or the asshole. I just happen to have a mouth on me, and when being surrounded by a pack of hyenas that I don't know any one of, I'm going to speak my mind, and that's all that there is to it. Everyone knows something, whether it's good or not. It's debatable. Exactly, and I think debate is what men like to do. Oh, it's been on debate for thousands of years. Right, because it creates the ambiguity that there is no way to determine truth, even though there is. Even though there is. But they need their money system, so they want you to believe that there's no way to discern the truth when there is. So they've caused you all to believe that there's debatable, worthy topics in the Bible, but in fact that's not the truth either. But that's because they're trying to get you to believe their lies, you see? Their lies that, like that guy said, babies don't come from, they come from men, not women. All right, that's, what do you want from me? Look, these are examples of images. This is from a regular photograph. When I got underneath the light, this is what I found. That's what I call God's art. This is another one. This was from a photograph in the day. Underneath the light is right here. Talk about having proof. It's right here. Look at this. Look at this. Covenant of God. When you see the rainbow, there's that eye, that triangle eye. Hello. I know what I'm talking about. Love it. I love it. I love it. I know what you guys are doing. Hey, intelligence, you were rejected. Why don't you get your Jesus squad somewhere else? You guys aren't going to try to corner me and make me out to be the Antichrist or to call myself anything like that. So all I'm saying is you guys are making absolute fools out of yourself for not even recognizing that Jesus is a placeholder for whoever they murder. So go ahead. Wear a dead guy on your neck. Claim that you like to murder people so that you can get out of trouble for your sins. Go ahead and admit it. You're a sinner, and you're going to kill somebody innocent so that way you can keep sinning. Keep admitting it. That's what you're saying. Jesus is the only one who saves. His name literally means Lord saves your stupid. Okay, well, that's a real shallow thing to say about Jesus, who didn't choose to die. So let's just imagine you why don't you think about Jesus for a second instead of your own guilty ass, sinner, needing someone else to die for you? Because if you weren't a sinner, you wouldn't need to hang on to that story. You'd realize that innocent people shouldn't go to their death for sinners to get off the hook. All right? But back to, Jesus didn't choose to die. And God doesn't send its child to die either. That's what a man would say, though. Man doesn't make babies, so he takes it all for granted. Nope, it wasn't. But that's a very shallow thing to say. Go to church, repeat what they tell you, and now you're just a programmed puppet. Way to go, Jessica. Way to go, Jessica. But just so you know, Jesus didn't choose to die, and that's an insult to him. Jesus was slaughtered. Jesus was pegged as the false idol. They made you all worship a false idol. How do you feel? How do you feel? You fell for it. And now you're repeating it. Jesus is the only one that saves. Tell me where that philosophy comes from. In what way does Jesus save? From what? The devil? Or the devil that you believe that God is? Which one is it? He didn't sacrifice himself, sweetheart. Jesus saves from his own wrath, so now Jesus has multiple personalities. Is Jesus the God and the devil? Listen, I'm not talking shit on anybody that finds a spiritual connection because of Jesus. Jesus taught some awesome things, but all I hear is people talking about him dying, and I think it's rude. I'd like to hear a lot more about what Jesus taught. Oh, poor Bren. Poor Bren, still wanting to be part of the hyena squad. Hey, why don't you guys tip Bren? She's trying to be a bad guy. What's the question, Jessica? Okay, so let's just say reading the Bible. What's the question? Oh, God is Jesus and Jesus is the Holy Spirit. If you want to know what he taught, read the Bible. What makes you think I haven't? And what makes you think that this is what we're supposed to be doing with our time, people? You guys are surrounding me like a pack of hyenas because I'm actually giving you my time of day. I'm here to tell you, why don't you use this time wisely? You want to talk religion? Why don't you say something of value? Stop wasting my time with your half-assed comments. You think you know something? Speak. Why don't you speak about Jesus and something he taught you? Instead of just claiming his death did anything good for you. Why don't you get the fuck out of here? I think that's disgusting. You sound like a criminal creep. Just use an example and swap out the people. Okay? Bobby down the street, he's talking about Mike who died for his sins. You know what? He's fucking mental. He's a mental case, man. And he keeps going on and on about it. Mike is God. Mike saves me. Whoa. Something sounds real fishy about that. Why does he keep talking about Mike, who's dead nonetheless? Maybe Bobby's the one who killed him. All right? And reading the Bible isn't going to get you anywhere, by the way. There's multiple layers to it. You have to find the truth. But don't just take it at face value. Are you familiar with the concordance? The difference between the Hebrew and the Greek? The swap story between the old and the new? Are you familiar with what the Quran says? The difference between the catechist, canon. They got their own Bible. They got their own books. The Bible is the advertisement campaign for the Jesus-based, male-dominant, religious front operation. Catholics have the catechist canon. Jews have their Torah, Tanakh, and the Talmud. The Muslims have the Quran and this other book, the Hadith. Okay? They got their own religion that's not in the Bible. That's what they're teaching you from. So don't talk about reading the Bible. That's not going to get you anywhere. Am I an advocate for pedophile? I'm an advocate for hanging pedophiles. I'm an advocate for putting an end to all the violence on this planet. Bren, may God bless you. May God bless you with clarity, since I'm not offended by this conversation, and I'm not taking it personally. Maybe you ought to do the same thing, because a lot of people like to take God personally, and they're the ones that slaughter innocent life for their sins, that take it so seriously that they go to war over religion, that want land so badly that they will murder thousands of people. Be proud of yourself, why don't you? Pat yourself on the back for being a religious fool. That's blaspheming God. That's taking it in vain. That's not true. And that's my opinion, and you're allowed to have yours. Well, let's talk about that, Jessica. No one was at war but free will. Well, here's the problem. Men rule this world, and they want war. Do women want war? Well, the women that like to submit to men do. Men don't make babies, which is why they kill. No, we don't. That's not true either, Tony. Mr. whatever your name is, the like button, go lick some more boots. Get the fuck out of my face. I'm not proud of you. I'm not proud of you at all. You think God's a patriot too? You think God should bless America? Get a life. Yep, you guys sound like standard issue commercials. Standard issue commercials saying empty things that you're supposed to because it sounds good. There's no content in any of your voices. I still have yet to see anybody say anything to me that makes any sense. You guys are just the fucking hyena squad barking from behind your desk. And I'm about to shut this down because I've put enough of my own time and energy into this for no reason, but I follow my instincts. So there's gonna be a reason for this. I know that much. I follow my instincts and God leads me the right way every single time. So I'm fine with this. But this is the one chance you guys are getting because I'm not gonna give it again. Dear God. Hey, Jessica, why don't you get off if you're so upset? I'm upset for a fucking lifestyle, all right? Get the hell out of here. Well, like button, why don't you just leave my channel knowing that you understand the situation? What are you doing here if you think that? Because you're here to harass me. Like your fucking harassment squads. But thank you for representing the U.S. Marines. Thank you for representing the U.S. Marines and your opinions and your guys' behavior and conduct. Attitudes. I don't know if you think that you sound smart, Derek, but you're not getting anywhere with me. And again, back to if what you think I'm going to do is say, oh, God, you're right. John 14. It says it right there. Hello, right? Like, hello, what's the point? You think you're spreading the gospel? That's not what it talks about either. You guys don't even know me, but this is perfect. No, I know what this is happening for. This is setting an example of the public. What the public does and what the public thinks and what the public jumps to the conclusion of. This is a sorry, embarrassing example of what this world has done to everyone. You people are representative of the public and what this world has done to you. You can't make complete sentences. You don't make full statements. You don't back up your claims. You enjoy lashing insults and latching onto words and jumping to conclusions from behind your desktop. That's what this world has done to the world. Dear God. I tell you. Thank you. I'm not having a fucking religious conversation, you goddamn hyenas. It's absolutely hilarious. The way that you guys are like a hive. This is the group hive here. This is an example of the group hive, the citizen scientist hive harassers. Call yourself hive harassers. All right, you're fired. And start and fire all you guys. You guys can leave on your own or you can be kicked out. Your choice. This is interesting. Okay, so here's where we are on the record. So this is evidence of by watching this chat. Oh, I hope I've got that clicked. Because then that wouldn't be present on this, would it? Okay, look at that. Well, anyway, I'm gonna consider it possibly there. So what this evidence is how we've got multiple people that are here now for we've been going on and on for like a half an hour, 45 minutes. Okay, nobody who has anything proper to do in their life stumbles upon a web page and sticks around just to see if they can still try to get under my skin. Evidence, citizen science harassment squads being deployed on the targeted individuals of their behavioral profiling mark of the beast system. Justin Bieber, you're out of here. Time out! Forever! Oh. Bye, Derek. Bless your heart. Bless your heart. Ronald, again, none of you guys know who I am, and jumping to conclusions makes fools out of you, not me. And being a fucking squad of hyenas makes you foolish. They don't have their own mind. It's sad. It's sad. So sad. It's proof. No, Yuga. I'm not a menace to society when I'm on my own fucking webpage, bro. But you're a menace of society, finding my page and harassing me. Got it? You're fired, by the way. Permanently fired. You guys don't even have a concept of religion. If that's what you're using it to do, to simply... You know, if you're using religion to be the talking point of debate and arguments because everybody needs to get it out of their system because this world is such a piece of shit that everybody should be feeling angry right around now, well, that's a waste. Religion is not supposed to be used in that manner. And that's what I find absolutely insulting on top of it all. Where's my battery charger? So these are the orbs. Why is it not playing? Huh. Oh, it is. It is. See, look. Look at all of them. They're hovering above the ocean that is flowing. See that? Orbs. Those are not ships. Those are orbs. Stacked deep. See that? Stacked deep. Well, good. Bye now. Right? As if I'm supposed to feel disappointed, like, oh no, they don't like me. I'm not here to fucking perform for you. I'm not your entertainment. I didn't even ask you guys to talk. I know the difference between intelligent conversation and fucking a joke of a social media website where people love to get off on just insulting people from behind their desk because nobody sees you and you can feel real bold. Well, all I could say is I've got my face out there. I've actually got my opinion out there. I'm actually somebody that has a face and a name. So you guys are the ones that are actually just pretending. And you're pretending to be a harasser, and that's the best you can do with your time, with your energy. Well, good, Stephen. I'm glad to know that you at least feel. That's a good start. All right. Well, I've had my fun. I've got my evidence. And this hasn't been fun, for the record. This is not fun whatsoever. This is absolutely insulting. This is interference. This is assaulting. This is disruptive. This is, how can I say, this is bullying. This is a low-level example of humanity, and this is an abuse of technology. This is abuse of common courtesy and even general intelligence, meaning standard, regular, what we all should have. This is an example of the way that people are so convoluted by religion that they latch on to statements about death and sacrifice on a common, just out their mouth, just like it's normal. It just goes to show their programming really worked. They really did con you all into believing that we should be looking forward to the end of life as we know it. Because Jesus is coming. Right. That's what they want you to believe. So that way, when war happens, you guys are excited. Because it's a sign of the times. You guys think it means good things are coming, when in reality it's just man telling you they're about to finish their game plan. So that's on the record. You guys have been documented. Obviously, I know I'll never find any of you guys to bring you guys to the stand for this case that may or may not even ever make it to the courthouses. But my point is, this is a sad example of humanity. I'm not the person who should be apologizing for my conduct. You guys are. YouTube should. The people, the DOD, the people that put these networks together. This is a sad example of their philosophies that are no wonder ruining this world. And since I won't tolerate this, is a good thing. It's a good thing that I won't tolerate this. And all of you guys can thank me in the future. Have a good night. Don't take me personally. Look at yourself in the mirror and realize this is a social media website, just like the news. Don't take this personally. Hopefully you've been able to express yourself and try to stretch out your religious wings. Good. Keep trying that. The more you practice quoting scripture and saying things like this out loud, the more you'll have the opportunity to feel the resonant energy. Because if you're just latching onto an argument piece because you want to join some argument, well, I'm here to tell you, religion isn't the one you want to use. Many of us know things forward and backwards, and it doesn't mean that there's time in the day to even get into the details. God is something that doesn't require you find a Bible. God doesn't require that you found a Bible and know how to read it. That's insanity. So therefore, I close this up with a completed full stop. And I send the energy to echo and resonate inside of your portal that's coming through right now. And it's going to go into your environment. And it's going to find a method of teaching you something. You're going to learn in the very near future something. And it's going to remind you of this situation we're here having together. May it come into your soul and help you open your mind to the truths that I'm speaking. I have not insulted any of you or any of your religions directly at you. I've been addressing the lies and the fraud. You guys can defend them all you want, but that's nothing to take personally. It has everything to do with your own belief system. I'm confident in mine. So all you guys want to break me, you want to bring me down. What does that say about you? It's time for God to actually come into you, not just out of your mouth. So may it happen, and may it happen swiftly. Because July 17th is the calculation. I don't know what it means. And July 25th, the dawn of the 8th day. So it's right around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. What does that mean? I don't know. I don't know what it means, but I do know that man is up to no good. They're the ones trying to incite all this. They're the ones that wrote the playbook. They're the ones that are following the playbook. And all of them think that they need to kill Jesus. And it sounds like you guys are the fucking witch squads that want that to happen too. Well, guess what? Low-level witches are not powerful. God is not a mad dad. And the devil doesn't exist. So. Dear God. Do your homework. Okay? Do your homework. I'm out. Be well.